Team SoloMid saying no Samuel for you. This leaves a lot of potential priority picks on the board. We'll have to see what Cloud9 determines is best for them.
Pick your poison. I mean, do you give the Lyra away? Do you give the Lance away? These are really tough decisions here.
It is. I mean, taking Lyra away is actually fairly smart. I think Flash X on Lyra has many unique strategic calls and engage potentials. We've seen backdoor unique kind of plots by him. We've seen him like dive from lane into the enemy turret to just complete mayhem with Bright Bulwark and using the teleport to get his team in there. So taking it away, pretty smart, but you still give Flash Finn.
Not to mention, I mean, last game TSM did use Lyra very well, so I like just taking it away because of that. That said, Finn is another thing Flash is great at. They have picked up a Celeste to go with it, something we've been seeing have sort of mediocre success rates recently, but something that Team SoloMid use quite effectively. Cloud9 has 2 picks to answer. Looks like they might go for a very similar comp to that TSM ran last game.
And it's quite interesting that TSM chose to pick up Celeste. She's not usually a contested pick, but they let Lance through. Like, they didn't like pick up who they thought was the #1 priority of every situation last season. Doesn't look like with the hover they're going to, yeah, we see Kroll come in, so it's actually very different. I like Kroll into the Scarf, and I like Kroll into the Sky because it's Von C's Kroll's very specific way you can play him to be able to stick to those targets, and you got a great front line.
But regarding the Celeste, I mean, what's the idea on that?
I think Celeste is there purely just to be able to put damage out from behind with Lyra, to not get poked out too much, to be pretty safe. But that being said, it's a pretty high skill matchup at this point. Bestchuck's going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders to carry this late game.
I think so. He could probably handle it, though. I think
he's shown that he's capable.
He's a champion, after all.
He
after
is
summer
a champion.
Season. All right, well, let's hop onto the Halcyon Fold, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Game 2 of this series between Cloud9 and Team SoloMid coming right up. Team SoloMid 1 win away from moving to Day 2 for one of what could be the last time. We've got Forecourt Jester and Jingyi.
Well, TSM have definitely made their mark here into Vainglory, I gotta say, with 2 championships under their belt, and Cloud9 not able to really dent that here in Game 1. Not the best of starts for them here, Jingyi.
Yeah, really not. These 2 teams have a really fantastic rivalry. This has really extended it, quite a while now, for a few seasons now. And I think at the championships, everybody was thinking TSM C9. This isn't the biggest matchup ever, but seeing Cloud9, I just feel like they didn't really find the flow. And like you said, last game either, they just didn't seem to have it. Hopefully, this game they would have. We'll be seeing a little bit more kind of spark coming out from them, especially with Hardek on that Scarf. I feel like we've seen a few Scarfs today, and a lot of teams have struggled to counter it just because of the poking power coming out from him.
Well, the poking power is real. Bestchuck already behind that turret. We did something a little bit different here as Cloud9 put 2 in lane immediately. Let Gabe Vizzle just deal with the jungle by himself, and because of that, again, Bestchuck not so healthy right now. Von C, though, has gone all the way around. He's looking for this invade, and he's going to find it here, especially if they're going to let Sky just kind of solo the jungle. Von C's saying, I can do this.
Von C's Krill is just absolutely brilliant. He's one of the most aggressive Krills that you'll ever see, and we're going to kind of see it now. He's got absolutely no fear, maybe a little bit apt. He's going into the jungle, absolutely just there's nothing there. He's just going to take away the farm, and he's going to try and just. I don't know what I'm saying. He's going to prevent the.
I mean, that's Von C for you, right? It's just like he can make those jaw-dropping plays. He leaves you a little bit speechless by the end of it because sometimes he can just do these ridiculous moves. And, well, he chased everybody out of his own jungle. He didn't quite get the treant, but at the same time, Gabe, I think he came visiting to the other side of the map, found out that it wasn't there. Bestchuck and Flash went and cleared it. So Gabe is definitely going to be hurting a little bit when it comes to the cash. But he also finds Von C again in this bush. You can't go anywhere. You can't take this guy anywhere. Von C now, however, is in a 3v1 situation. Here comes the cavalry as Chuck ends. It's going to be Flash X coming in, but it doesn't matter. Von C had that Spectral Spite. He's not even done yet. Hardek, yeah, all right. He's got a taste for some of that Dragon Flesh, and now he is looking to put him down.
Yeah, absolutely no fear there from Von.
Gosh, it's so close.
Lost Boy.
All right, Bestchuck is here. We got this one. Yeah, Lost Boy is going to drop. Could have been a 3-kill turnaround right there as Von C, went aggressive, got into a 3-ban situation, still got out, got 2 kills for his trouble. And I mean, like, that's the jaw-dropping plays. That's why you're always out of breath with this guy. You know, no fear, just fight. I didn't butcher it this time, and he makes the plays, man.
Yeah, I mean, when we see other crews being played, what happens is I feel like they're very passive. They're kind of like, we're a late game hero, and you know, you're a late game hero, and we're just gonna kind of avoid all fights. He plays a completely different style.
Yep, and that style is I just want to kill Gabe. Kill Gabe. Sit in all the bushes, wait for Gabe, kill Gabe. And that's almost happening here again. Here comes the rest of the team. Lost Boy, where are you going, my friend? Well, there's a big spectral smite for you. And Vonsi gets another kill. 3 up, 3 down. And Gabe and the whole team at Cloud9 is starting to feel the pain here.
Definitely. Hardik, I feel like he's very low on energy a lot of the time. You know, he's expending a lot of energy, using those Spitfires, using those goops to try and clear those waves. And especially with Flash X, he's taking a very offensive roam position there, being very far up, so he's got awareness there. And just poor Gabe, I really feel like he needs Lost Boy there just to keep him alive, because he's really struggling against Vonsi.
Lost Boy here. He's the same, because we know you don't, like, Flash X and Best Chuck might be able to CC him down. Or do you go back into the jungle, right? If you're in the jungle, Hardick's probably going to lose out that lane. If you're in the lane, well, Gabe is obviously losing out the jungle, and pretty heavily here as well. There's no real good answer, especially if Vonsi intercepts you on the transition. Like, look at this. He's looking for Gabe. He finds Gabe, and he's going to take the minion mine on top of it. The boots are real. Vonsi is just taking a bite out of Cloud9.
Vonsi is just an absolutely incredible player. And you know what? The reason I'm saying this, you know, this is a very common crew build. It's very defensive. He's got that attack speed. He's got that weapon blade. And this is something we see a lot of crews building at this stage, but not all of them can be 4-0 and 0 at 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, Vonsi is a special breed of jungle at this point. He is waiting again. Cape Fizzle, like, nuh-uh. Not this time. I'm just going to go to lane. I'm going to soak a little bit here. I gotta play a little bit of catch up with this money. But Vonsi, once he gets that Shiver Steel, you're not going anywhere. Like, that Shiver Steel comes through, and it's game over for Gabe one-on-one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even right now with that Shiver Steel, he's really making Gabe Fizzle work to try and get away right now. And once he gets that Shiver Steel, it's going to be nigh impossible for Hardik or Gabe Fizzle to get away from them. And, you know, working together with Flash X, that Polite Company, is also going to be helping, pulling them away, keeping them towards Vonsi as well. And hopefully with the Force to Cord later, once Flash X reaches level 6, that will work really well with Vonsi and that crew.
All right, we got the Shiver Steel. Now, we've been focusing a lot in the jungle, right? But what's going on in lane? Best Chuck is level 6. Flash is about halfway there. But Best Chuck, you know, he is looking in good form to pick up that first item here sometime the next little bit. Doesn't matter, though, apparently. I can't take my eyes off Vonsi. All right, that's a dead. There's another dead. And, well, there's a stun to the face for Lost Boy. And the snipe goes through as well. Vonsi don't care. He's just going to sit on you. But, okay, he does care a little bit.
He just 1v2'd and won.
It's like, I try to put some emphasis on Best Chuck. Like, he and Flash are doing good work in the lane.
Fantastic. They were doing
completely
really well.
Overshadowed by Vonsi.
But Vonsi's just absolutely insane at this point. He's just so aggressive on that crew.
Hi, Gabe. Gabe's like, I don't want to go.
No.
I don't want to do it. All right, well, Hardek's here now as well. Flash, got to get in the front. And, well, Gabe is all right with that Surrey Strike. It's just not going to be. Not yet. We do got some kiting potential here as Best Chuck is with the group. He can throw down those Helios, but Flash is low. Vonsi a little bit low. We have no more Fountain. This could actually be finally the first kill. There it is as Hardek picks it up. Are we going for the second? Will Vonsi actually be that generous? Or is he going to try to pick this one up and turn it right back around? Well, he'll get the farm. Will he live? No, but he did get the farm, so he goes down with a fight, and now Cloud9, this is the only time they can be aggressive, it feels.
Yeah, the thing is about that Scarf going to Finn, it's very easy for them to try and get, you know, for Scarf to take advantage of this heroic perk and just keep Flash X on fire, build up those broken myth stacks, which he does have now. And this is something we'll be seeing a lot. Hardik, your health is low.
Run! Didn't work. Didn't work. All right. Well, that's a dead gold mine, and this could actually be a very dead Cape Fizzle going through. Didn't get that farm. Lost Boy, are you now going to be up on the menu here? You got Flash X and Chuck just making work happen here, and again they steal out that Trin. Here comes Vonsi. He's just going to casually walk up to them, start getting those stacks on top of Lost Boy. We pull in Gabe, and it's a 1-2 punch. That is it for the team of Cloud9. They might even lose out this turret.
TSM are just looking absolutely fantastic. You know, we kind of thought maybe at the championships that was their kind of peak. They're showing us that it clearly wasn't, because they're still looking really, really strong. Maybe even stronger, actually. You know, we're seeing them playing very different heroes than the ones they were playing last season, and it's very refreshing to see right now. But this jungle dominance, this kind of entire game dominance right now is astonishing.
Vainglory, man. Level 7. How is he still level 7? 6 kills to his name, 33 last hits. Gabe Bizzle not pairing nearly that well, but he's still even on the level. The 778 to the 775. That's a big difference. His Lost Boy on this Lyra still has no portals. Okay, I misspoke. He just hit 6 now, but the level game is definitely going way towards TSM at this point. The cash, about 3,000, a little bit more between the teams here as well. Cloud9's items, I mean, they don't really feel that behind despite the gap.
They really, no, they don't. Hard Icy's got that broken myth, he's got the reflex block. But you know, Best Chuck NA, he's got that extra void battery there, so that's not too much difference. Gabe Bizzle, he's got a little more offensive items than Vainglory. Oh, the forced accord.
Yep, and well, the bulwark went out from Lost Boy, but there's nobody to catch because it's just death for breakfast for Hardek. Now we don't have that anchor, but it doesn't matter. You got a Vainglory, he just charges right through, but they are gonna err on the side of caution this round. You know, no fear. Well, a little fear, maybe. They'll back up, but still.
Fear.
Take all the jungle, right? Just starve them out. Cloud9 got no real response if they're always going to be down a man.
Yeah, and for Cloud9, especially that Scarf, he's a very, very late scaling game hero. And the way this game is going right now, TSM just really aren't allowing that to happen. They're not letting Scarf get any jungle. They're not letting Gabe get any jungle. And I think they're really going to have a struggle to try and find that foothold. I think the best thing is when TSM are being a little bit too over-aggressive, just constantly trying to push into turrets, just try and poke away, get a lot of damage on them, because with Lost Boy top and Hardek, there's a lot of potential for that to happen. And I think that's their best bet. Maybe get some vision down so they know when their minions try and claim some of their jungle back. It seems unlikely, though, because Vainglory is just... I'm
Look at the fear that has been instilled. Cloud9 will take their backs and go home. They get as far as maybe the first bush. They don't even get to the mustache. They are just that afraid.
I think I see why he has no fear. He just gives it all to his opponents.
I have no more fear to give today. That's what he says at the end of the game. But Cloud9, I mean, they have no vision. They do have a minion mine, so that's a little bit of a blessing right there. But, you know, with the gold mine going down, that's another immense going over. We're up to 5,000 gold. Vainglory's just going to casually walk up to top again, and top of the bulwark. Vainglory don't care. He's going to take the portal through as well. Flash X and Best Chuck are going to play some catch-up, but the Crucible is good. They are going to defeat that anchor, so they will live to fight another day. But again, Vainglory, he just walks right for it. You know, I really hope Bacon is watching this game because this is what he likes to build on Kroll, and he always tells me how Krolls are always doing it wrong. I really hope he's watching Vainglory right now because Vainglory is like the shining example of Krolls.
Vainglory is... Yeah, it's... I feel like Kroll is such a good hero. He's such a versatile hero. There's so many different ways you can play him and make it work. I mean, we saw Jetpack's Kroll earlier, Jetpacks came back. His Kroll, he got his Kroll back, and it was very, very different from this one. It wasn't as aggressive, maybe a little more passive in the early game, but he made it work, and this is what I love about Kroll.
I did see all the hype about that. Playoff Bird was definitely tweeting plenty about the EU stuff of today, and yeah, Jetpacks, yeah, sure. I mean, you can think he's best, but I'm going to stick with my boy Vainglory. You know, best Kestrel, best Lance. Well,
he's his best hero, best hero.
I mean, he is just such a pleasure to watch. And TSM picking it up, you know, they rose to the top. They're still sitting on the top. Very pretty. If they can 2-0 Cloud9, then, you know, it's kind of not a repeat into the finals because Cloud9 didn't make it that far. But, I mean, Cloud9 and not taking a win from TSM, we might have the beginning of a new streak here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a repeat of the semifinals at least. And I feel like, so Hardex's got that Eve now. I feel like this is definitely a swing in the right direction for them. He needs that sustain, and I feel like in the previous fights, because he only had the energy battery, he was really running out very quickly, and that just wasn't working out very well in fights, because he had to disengage, because he couldn't really offer much. And I think maybe now it can go a little bit better. You can last in those team fights a little bit longer, but unfortunately I just feel like they're a little bit too ahead. Watch it!
Yeah, well, they tried. If you can't get the reflex block on one, well, you're apparently not getting it on the other there as well. Hardek is actually still alive. Vonsi's off on his own merry chase, but it doesn't matter. Hardek is still dead by the end of it. Best Chuck's going for it. Do we have a core collapse? No, but we got a snipe. The double kill is real. The damage is obscene. The 5 stacks of the Broken Myth right there doing well. He has 3 items to boot on top of that. So goodbye, turret. 13 minutes in, can't even go for a Kraken, but once more, TSM full hammer up against Cloud9.
Yep, very, very slick team fight there, and Hardek. You see, this is the thing. I think this is something we see a lot of people struggling with, is also blocking the From Hell's Heart coming out from Cruels. You know, and you know, it's very well projected. You see the sword coming at you from miles away, but for some reason, it's very difficult to block, and a lot of people struggle with it. And if you can't block it, especially if it's coming out from such a max range, it's so very devastating, especially if they're targeting the carry. And that's what they did to Hardek. They stunned him. He wasn't able to block it. He used his reflex block, and then they just pulled him with a force to cord. It was just this very nice chain that they pulled off on him. And
look at the back of Cloud9 right now. Lost Boy Toph, he basically just walked by that scout trap. That one scout trap has been their majority of this game, Shingy. You want to talk about value? Talk about that scout trap right there.
I mean, well, that's 50 gold well worth spent just to know the positions of Cloud9 and when they're going.
Like, that's as far as they can go, right? I mean, they can't, as soon as they get up to that minion mine, that's like a wall. They say, we can't really go past this. Not really. Because they only have such limited vision, and if they're not in lane, well, I mean, you can take an estimated guess. An immense gold payout's a good guess, then the gold mine is dead. But, you know, 30 seconds to go. We got a Kraken coming up. If we win a fight right here, TSM can just take the game. If the TSM don't even fight right here, I still think they can take the game.
I mean, that scout trap in lane as well, that's been there for a while. And I'm going to say, Flash X has changed. We used to go on about how he never put in vision, and he's got an abundance of scout traps down right now all over the map.
It really was, you know, the summer season. He started getting contraptions. I mean, everybody started getting contraptions, but we saw contraption first one game from him on, I think it was Fortress. But at the same time, yeah, he has really started putting those scout traps down. And I'd say, you know, the way that some of these games go, he might even set a record for how many he puts down sometimes. It's really a new age here for Flash X. I
mean, I think it really works in their favor. And, you know, at the time when he didn't use the scout traps, you know, that was revolutionary because he was such good awareness. But I think as people get better, you know, you kind of need to up your game as well. And vision is just so vitally important.
Look at these Helios. Yeah, they count as vision, right?
Yeah, they count as vision.
Just stay away. You're not welcome here.
Well, they need to fight now, otherwise they're going to lose that Kraken. Maybe it's just better to back off and not fully commit here, which is what looks like Cloud9 are doing.
Yeah, they had no in. They have no in. They got no melee to lead the charge. They got no tank. It's at best Lost Boy jumping it with portals and hoping that they can actually land and engage. But, you know, it's, again, best Chuck. He keeps him away. The Helios in the bush, you know, Flash X with the scout traps. They saw the lead up into it. He's thrown down the flares. There's nothing. There is no party bush here. It's all about getting into those infusions. He got all 6. Everybody has them ready to go, and this is do or die time. 2 turrets, a Kraken, a lot of kills, and a Von C engage could be the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, but Cloud9, they're very under-leveled. I mean, Lost Boy Toph, level 10, Gabe Bizzle, level... Well, you just reached level 12, never mind. But all of TSM are level 12.
Yep, the level game has been very good to them simply because this aggression has worked out so very well. TSM is pushing in very slowly. They're waiting for Flash X to get that anchor back up. 5 seconds, landing as much quibbles and just trying to build the space. You know, Best Truck has a lot of range here. Need to get that stun on top of Hardek. They don't quite do it, but that's a dead Sky. And there goes Lyra on top of it. Hardek, it was a good attempt, man, but not a kill to the name. And with the Kraken destroying the turrets, this is a 2-0 to end us off today.
Oh, very different from EU, I think. How many was that? That was 4 3-game series they had, and we've had 1? I think it's 1. We've had 1.
We had 1 game 3 that, in NA, at any rate.
Yeah, very different story there. And TSM, I've got to say, they look fantastic. In Cloud9, they had this incredible run. I think they had, what was like a 20-series streak or something in the last split. But TSM, I think maybe they're the ones that can be leading